Hey, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Happy first day of spring. So I wasn't feeling very motivated today to do any videos. When we're doing these videos, we have to take in so much negative energy. I know for me, reading certain stories or watching certain videos, I take in so much negative energy from, if you're reading about, a black kid being murdered, or, the body, the organ harvesting and stuff. It's really hard to take in. Again, the energy, I literally get zapped, and I just like, I need to find ways to release the energy, or to just not take so much of it in. But I did come across this story that one of my subscribers wanted me to share, and so I really do think it's important to share stories like this. We need to know what's going on. We really need to do whatever we can to protect our children from these evil albinoid devils. And as far as I'm concerned, the majority of the Asians are the same as the other albinoid people. So they don't have as much power, but they definitely have a destructive and evil mindset when it comes to their actions with the Black community. So they have the same regards for our health and well-being as the albinoids do. So here's this story. It's a couple of years old, I think, but it's very important, again, for us to see these things. So this was published in 2015. So it says, Asian American couple found guilty of harvesting organs from adopted Ghanaian girl. Matthew and Grace, let me see if the picture, there it is. Here, so here's the picture. Here's the little girl. Something, if this didn't ring any alarms, two Asians adopting Black children, that should have never happened. This right here should have rang so many alarms, and no one should have allowed this. So let's go in here. So an Asian American couple were sentenced Thursday to 3 years really, in prison in a Qatar, I don't know where this, Qatar court, for starving their adopted daughter to death. The Hung's parents to 3 adopted children are accused by prosecutors of killing their daughter in order to harvest her organs. As reported by BBC News, the charges that landed the Hungs in jail were not announced, but outside the court, Mr. Hungs presented greater detail. We have just been wrongfully convicted. We feel as if we are being kidnapped by the Qatar judicial system, said Mr. Hung. This verdict is wrong and appears to be nothing more than an effort to save face. Mr. Hung added, they accuse us of killing our daughter to harvest her organs. That's how ridiculous this is. This verdict should be overturned immediately. Along with the prison sentence, the couple has to pay $15,000 whatever, or $4,100 in fines after serving their sentence. The couple will be deported. The defense team has been granted 15 days to appeal the sentence and have plans to put that into motion. Mr. and Mrs. Hong were arrested in I can't say that, Qatar's capital city, Doha, back in January 2013 after the death of the 9-year-old Gloria, pictured above with her 2 brothers. The Hung family adopted Gloria from Ghana, and have 2 other adopted children pictured also from Africa. So it didn't ring any alarms that these 2 disgusting, monstrous-looking Asians wanted to adopt 3 black kids. Because black people and Asians really are, we're just tight like that. Like, no, that's not cool. The Hung family arrived and then they brought her there so that they can harvest her organs. Because notice how they didn't take the brothers, they didn't take her brothers to Qatar. They just took the girl that they planned on harvesting the organs. The Hung family arrived in Qatar after the husband reportedly moved the family to the country for work. Their other children are residing with family back in America. So just coincidentally, they just took the daughter, the girl that they killed. Via their website, the Hung family claims that Gloria's death happened as a result of an eating disorder she developed while living in Ghana. Right, but Qatar police officials determined that the Hung family were harvesting the girl's organs. Shockingly, this is not the only case dealing with organ harvesting. In 2011, Catholic Online reports on African refugees attempting to relocate to Israel, having their kidneys and livers removed while they were alive, and then being left to die. So when I'm telling you guys that they're stealing our organs, this is another story, so we can't say we didn't know that. We really need to know who we're working with, okay? Because this is white supremacist terrorism, it's demonry, and these disgusting Asians, they're doing the same thing. Then a Somalia girl was reportedly smuggled out of her country to Britain, to the evil albinoids, for her organs. According to the New York Post, last October, her case was a particularly significant because it was the first time the authorities saw a child being trafficked specifically for her organs. Another high-profile organ harvesting kidnapping case involved humanities organizations Zoe's Ark. You guys really need to be alert, and these disgusting religious groups that are going into Africa, they're not going in there to help these kids. They're going in there to steal organs, to be child molesters. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, this like really messes with my head. But we need to know this stuff, and this stuff needs to be out there because we have to do a better job at protecting our children. We got to do better than this, and we can do better than this. We need to keep our children out of the hands of these evil albinoid devils, these terrorists. We really need to protect our children. So back in 2007, Chad's president, Adaris Derby, accused the organization of trying to kidnap 103 children and take them to France for illegal adoptions and organ harvesting. At that time, President Derby told NPR clearly their goal was to kidnap and steal these kids from their parents and sell them to pedophile organizations in Europe, to kill them and sell their organs. It's right there. Like, we see it. We slowly but surely we are learning as to who we're up against, and it's right there, and it's all over. And I tell you, every time I hear of one of these Christian organizations going into Africa, I cringe, and I don't understand why they're not killed on sight. Like, I don't get that. So I mean, everyone wants to say, you know, we have all these people saying, oh, let's not be violent, let's pray for these people. Well, while we're praying, our children are dying. While we're being peaceful, our children's organs are being harvested to be put into some evil albinoid devil terrorist so that they can live longer and commit more atrocious acts upon us. Okay, so you can try to think about being as peaceful and as holy and as, you know, praying as much as you want to, but just realize while you're doing that, our children are dying. And we need to stop. I'm gonna, there's this video talking about the case. So I'm just gonna play it.
In Qatar over the death of their young adopted daughter, in a case which lawyers and medical experts in the US say is based on shoddy evidence and poor science. A campaign has been launched in the US over the arrest of Matthew and Grace Huang in January after the death of their 9-year-old daughter, Gloria, who was adopted from Ghana. According to the California Innocence Project, CAP, a US-based organization which works on what it believes to be wrongful prosecution.
Yeah, so you got these disgusting evil albinoid devils in California, in America, where they're you know, these disgusting other Asians were. They're just like, she was just, you know, a black girl. Like, who cares? Why do we care? Why are we prosecuting? But if you notice, they got 3 years. 3 years for murdering this child. And then America wants to say, oh, wait, that was just a little African girl. Who cares? Why are you prosecuting these people?
The Huangs have been denied bail, and their 2 other children, also adopted from African countries, have not been allowed to leave the country. If found guilty, the Huangs could face the death penalty under Qatar law, although there has been an effective moratorium on executions for the last.
But you saw that they got, let's see, I think they got 3 years. Yeah, they got 3 years. They're like, oh, it was just a little black girl. Oh, well. 3 years for killing her. This beautiful, beautiful child. These disgusting devils killed this beautiful child, and they got 3 years. Right now, they're sitting at home. Just fine. And I feel like just this last incident with these Asians attacking a black person in the, you know, the beauty supply store, and the fact that he's, you know, he's still alive and he's still breathing, sets a really bad example. It really does. It really makes us more vulnerable when we're allowing some disgusting Asians. Like, seriously, we're letting them punk us and steal our children and kill our children? Like, when are we going to stand up and say enough is enough? When are we going to stand our ground? When are we going to start punishing these devils that are viciously and savagely brutalizing us? When are we going to stand up and say, we're done, this is enough, okay, you know, I've had enough, I'm going to do something about this. And it's not going to be praying. I'm not going to pray for you. You know, if you want to pray for these people, pray while you're teaching them a lesson, okay? Because if someone's attacking me or someone I know or my family or my friends, oh, I'll pray while I'm stomping your head into the ground. I'm going to pray that maybe that you die soon, or did you feel a lot of pain? I mean, you can pray for a lot of different things. But this child did not get justice. That 103 children that they're trying to steal, and this is just who they caught. So you know there are millions upon millions upon millions of children that are being stolen and murdered and harvested for their organs. You know that. You know that there's millions of adult women, because I showed you 640,000 of them that were missing in a span of 10 years. That is what 6,400 a year. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. And nothing's been said. There's no pictures. There's no missing signs. There's no Amber Alerts, any of that. And these are children too. Okay, these are women and children. So when are we going to stand up? And now we have these disgusting Asians thinking that they can do something. Now they can attack us. Because what? We videotaped them? Oh, geez. I mean, that's really teaching them something. We need to start using this right here. And maybe some of these right here. If you guys can see what that is. But I'm over it. Like I'm over letting these disgusting people get away with attacking us. Like, are we not worth anything to ourselves? Was that child not worth something? That clearly not to them. That clearly she was worth her organs to them. I'm gonna play the rest of this video.
10 years. The Qatar Public Prosecutor's Office was unavailable for comment on the case. The CAP cited Qatar investigative reports which suggested that the couple bought their children in order to harvest their organs or conduct medical experiments, and accused them of starving their daughter. The medical examiner told...
And did you hear how he said they bought those children? Okay, so you hear all these adoption agencies talking about they're putting these kids up for adoption. You buy these kids, okay? You come with enough money and you can have whatever kid you pick. Okay, so make no mistake about that. You think Angelina Jolie didn't go pick out what children she wanted? Because I assure you she did. And what, Sandra Bullock, you think she didn't go pick out what child she wanted? You guys don't ask yourself why these people want African children? Because make no mistake about it, Charlize Theron, Angelina Jolie, Sandra Bullock, they could have went and got them a little white kid. They could have adopted a newborn white kid. They could have got a surrogate mother to carry a biological child, and yet they went and bought black children. Okay, we need to ask ourselves why. Why do these rich, highly notarized white people want to have black children? How does that benefit them? Because they have walking organs right there. They need a kidney, they got one. Oh, I'm sorry, something happened to the little girl. She fell. Now I need a heart transplant. This isn't funny. This is not a movie. This is not, something that we can just look past and ignore. We are being terrorized from every angle. We're sitting as in a freaking pool like fish in a bucket. Like literally, we're just right there. We're just right there for anybody that wants to victimize us. Just come do it, because nothing's gonna happen to you. You're a police officer and you want a vacation, go kill a black person. Bam, 2 weeks paid vacation. You need an organ, go adopt an African child. There you go. You get the best of the best right there. You get the best organs you could possibly want right there. But why not? Because we're not doing anything about it. There's no consequences. I mean, what? They got 3 years for killing a child to harvest her organs, and they got 3 years. Not even a slap on the hand. They're sitting at the beach sipping on Mai Tais right now, swimming in rice, while that little girl is gone. Her life is gone. But we want to pray. And while we're praying, you got these disgusting religious church groups in Africa molesting children, and then kidnapping children to harvest their organs. Because a couple of Christian groups have been caught doing that. And those are just the ones that got caught. But why not? Because, well, we're not going to do anything about it. 2 Asians can attack a woman and tackle her to the ground and punch her all in her face. And what do? We're going to stand outside the door and talk to them? Oh, we're just standing out here, blah, blah, you did this, we're not going to buy hair. Why is his building still standing, and why is this guy still breathing? Like, we hear about, oh, Chicago's so bad, Chicago's so bad. Why are there Asian stores still standing in Chicago? Where are these gangbangers and thugs? Where are they? Because we let them give us all these labels. So where are they? Where are the gangbangers and the thugs? Why is this Asian dude still walking around? And I know I'm not even on that topic, but that really just, it really bothers me. And it bothers me because every time we allow these disgusting demons to get away with something, we make ourselves more vulnerable and more susceptible to any other attack by any other group of people. Because all of them, the Asians are sitting back right now, stuffing their faces with rice, laughing at us, just chuckling it up. These Asians just stole this little beautiful little girl and murdered her and stole her organs. They're sitting on a beach eating some rice somewhere, sipping on some sake. And why? Because we're not going to do anything about it. We're going to sit in our house and we're going to pray, and we're going to send our 10% tithes to our church, and we're going to talk and buy some Jordans. Like, that's what we're going to do. That's just us. You can do whatever you want to us, because we're not going to do anything. You can put all over the news of how much criminals we are, how violent we are by nature. We're violent by nature, but we allow everybody to do anything they want to us, and we just pray, but we're violent. I'm gonna finish playing this and try to not be angry, because I'm really seething right now inside. Like, I really am. I'm feeling it, and I just, like, I don't get it. I don't know what needs to be done to light a fire under our asses and tell us to do something. Do something big. You know, set an example. Stand up for yourselves.
Told a court that Gloria appeared emaciated. But a report prepared by an independent pathologist in the U.S., who specializes in child autopsies, found no solid evidence to support the conclusions of the Qatar medical examiner's investigation. This is a case of faulty science and what appears to be racial and cultural misunderstandings by the Qatari officials about American norms regarding international adoptions, said a statement from the CAP. A combination of factors. Gloria's death certificate, issued by Qatar's Supreme Council of Health, listed the causes of death as cachexia and dehydration. Cachexia, commonly known as wasting syndrome, can produce symptoms that look similar to starvation, including weight loss and muscle atrophy. It can be caused by a range of conditions, including congestive heart failure and autoimmune diseases. According to the independent report, however, the medical examiner in Doha did not test for any of these. Gloria had previously been diagnosed with a low white blood cell count, which could suggest an underlying medical condition, according to a source familiar with her medical history. She also suffered from giardia when she was adopted, an infection which is difficult to completely eliminate. Doctors also did not test her vitreous humor, the clear gel inside the eyes, which is a standard way to diagnose dehydration. Her bodily fluids were tested only for drugs, poison and semen, and all tests were negative. The medical examiner said in court that starvation or malnutrition could have contributed to her death. But family acquaintances have said in affidavits that Gloria was walking around her house the night before she died, which would be virtually impossible for a child dying of starvation.
Okay, but no, none of these family are actually this little girl's family. None of them. And she was well enough to travel internationally, even though they could have left her home with their other children back in America. But they just coincidentally brought her. And she just coincidentally died. I can't.
The Huangs have acknowledged that their daughter suffered from an eating disorder, which they attribute to an early childhood spent in extreme poverty in Ghana. The report does not indicate that the many fluid, blood and tissue analyses that were necessary to rule out other potential causes were ever done, said the independent report, prepared by Dr. Janice Offoven. A copy of the report was reviewed by Al Jazeera. The likely reality is that Gloria's death was caused by a combination of factors and that there is not evidence that her parents were intentionally starving her. Hereditary traits. People working with the Huangs have also suggested that the case was fueled by cultural misunderstandings. The Huangs are of Chinese descent, and their 3 children are from Ghana and Uganda. The CAP said investigative reports wonder why the couple adopted children who were not good-looking and did not share their hereditary traits. The reports also suggest
those children looked so much better than these disgusting Asians, and the kids aren't good-looking. The kids are the ones that aren't good-looking. Okay.
that the Huangs may have been involved in human trafficking, the CAP says. Yet this sort of adoption is quite common in the U.S. American families have adopted nearly 17,000 children from African countries.
Not American Asian families. That's what they're not leaving out. I never see an Asian family, and there's a lot of Asians here, and there's a lot of Africans here, and I never see, never, and I don't even use never, because I don't even like words like that, because, but I can truly say I've never seen an Asian couple with an African kid or a black kid. Okay, they know exactly why they got these children. And then they hire all these people to say, oh, well, people in her family. There's no people in her family. None of those people are her family. Go back to Ghana and find her actual family and ask them how she was. Because clearly she was healthy enough for you guys to drag her across the world when you could have left her at home. So clearly she was healthy enough for that. But now they want to say, oh, she was super sick and she was already emaciated and she had an eating disorder. So that's just, that it's all her fault. It's all her. Give me a break. These people should have been drug out in public and they're publicly executed. They should have been shot right in the head. That's what should have happened. That's what should happen to that Asian at this hair salon or hair store. He should have been made a public example.
since 1999, according to State Department statistics. The Huang's 3 children were all adopted through an established agency. The CAP said that the Huangs moved to Doha last year with their 3 children. Matthew was an...
Notice how he said an established agency. He didn't say a license. He didn't say, verifiable. They're established. Anybody's established. Where they're established for 2 days, 5 seconds. Because what does that mean?
Engineer working on a water purification project related to the 2022 World Cup, which will be hosted in Qatar. The couple have denied the charges and are scheduled for another hearing when Qatar's courts return from their summer recess. The family remains concerned by the Qatari officials who fail to understand the pain of losing a child to a rare and deadly syndrome, said the David House Agency, a California-based organization which is working with the family. They are also disappointed that the Qatari courts have denied the bail of Matthew and Grace and have refused to allow their other children to leave Qatar to be cared for by extended family members. An American couple are facing...
So, this was before. I'm trying to see what that next video was. Oh, this. Okay. So, I don't know. Like, we really need to start taking this serious, okay? We need to come up with some kind of plan, some kind of code of action. But stuff like this needs to stop. Like, it needs to stop. We are constantly opening ourselves up for attacks by every other race, because every other race stands up for each other. Violence is needed in lots of situations. If someone's being violent towards you, then it only makes sense to be violent back. It doesn't make sense to be passive and submissive to the constant terrorism that is inflicted towards the Black community. And we need to stop being victims. Like, I'm so done being a victim. And we are victims. We're victims. But right now, you know what? We're allowing ourselves to be victims. It's like when you're, here's one thing. And it's something that they always say on the Dr. Phil show. And he says, you teach people how to treat you. Okay. And that even goes with when you're raising a child, when you want the child to stop doing a certain behavior, that behavior has to be corrected in the beginning. You're not going to wait till your kid's 10 to teach them to to pee in the toilet and not on their bed. You're going to teach them at an early age. You're going to there's so much stuff that that these people are allowed to get away with, and we're not stopping it. We're not teaching them how to treat us. Well, we really are, because by not doing anything, we're teaching them how to treat us. We're teaching them that you can tackle us, you can punch us in our face, you can shoot us on the streets, you can kidnap our children and harvest their organs, you can you can commit genocide against us, you can rape us, and there's nothing that you can't do. You can do whatever you want to, because we're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to stop you. We're not going to fight you. We're not going to draw any lines to say that this is enough. But we have to. Like, I don't get this. I don't get it. These evil albinoid devil terrorists and these disgusting agents, they do not deserve prayer and mercy. They don't. And until we stand up and say we are done, here's your consequence. Okay? Because they never got a consequence for slavery. And they always want to throw it in your face and say, oh, we ended slavery. Well, where's your consequence for slavery? Where's their consequence for Jim Crow? Where's their consequence for Michael Brown and Sandra, I can't think of her last names, which I apologize for. But where's the consequences for these atrocious actions? So by us not giving them consequences, we're telling them that what they did was okay. And they can you can do it again. You're fine. Go ahead and kill as many black people as you want to. Steal our children, harvest their organs, rape us, murder us, enslave us, because there's no consequences. There's none. Why wouldn't they be putting a plan in action, which they are, to eradicate a whole bunch of us, like 90% of us? They have a plan right now to put into action, to commit genocide. And why? Because they didn't have any consequences for the first time, second time, third time. They don't have any consequences. When you're not giving a consequence, you're giving a free pass, and you're setting a precedent, and you're telling these people that their disgusting, atrocious terrorist acts are okay with us. We need to stop and show them that it's not okay with us. We need to give them a consequence, and the consequence needs to fit the atrocious act. If we're not giving them a consequence that measures the amount of evilry that they've done, then that's not going to be a good enough consequence. So we need to start getting our minds together and thinking of a way to set an example and to give consequences for these actions. All of them. We ask for reparations, but we shouldn't be asking for reparations right now. We should be giving consequences. But first should be consequence, then you need to give us reparations. Okay, it's not one or the other, but the consequence needs to happen. That's for sure. There needs to be a drastic, painful, just extreme consequence for these actions. If there isn't one, then we're just waiting for the next attack upon the Black community, right? That's what we're doing. We're just waiting for the next one. Because they get another pass. And now the agents are attacking, and they get a pass. Where's his consequence? Start giving out some consequences. Stop always wanting to march and talk and pray and blah, 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 blah. I'm done with it. Anyways, I will put the description to these videos in the, or the links to these videos in the description box in case anyone wants to watch them again. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very important to me that you guys please share these videos. It only takes a couple seconds to post these videos to your Instagram, your Facebook, your Snapchat, or Twitter, or whatever. But it's really important that we get these messages out there. If we're not going to do anything else and you just want to sit at home but you want to do something to help, sharing these videos help. We need to get this stuff out there so that we know what we're up against. that's one of the biggest things that will help us, is to know the psychopathic minds of these evil albinoid devils, and we need to know what is going on. You know, we need to know about these attacks on the Black community. The more knowledge we have, the more incentive we will have to stand up for ourselves and to give these consequences that need to be given. Anyways, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next video.